My background, I got nothing crazy though. Bro, what you got going today?
I ain't got nothing going. Said I'm off today. I'm on call 6 days a week, but
Oh
I'm
shit.
off today, so I ain't really got nothing to do. I'm about to get ready to move back down to New Orleans, so I know I'm gonna be packing up a little bit around here.
Where you at
Yeah,
now?
I'm in San Antonio right now.
Oh,
I ain't
okay.
gonna lie, that's kind of low key bump.
Um,
That little song, right?
oh yeah, I like the little song.
Yeah,
Welcome
he
to the
killed
World's
that.
Drunkest Podcast. Is Drinks and Things. Your boy MG. On behalf of Rick, Andy, Seth, Jake, they're all doing some shit. Today is the 20th anniversary of one of the most devastating natural disasters in American history, Hurricane Katrina. And I thought that it was only right that I invite my brothers, New Orleans natives, to share their stories. And the good thing about this is stories that's never been really shared. I think people don't really understand, like when you go through something like that, the trauma it may cause you to keep it held within. But we're lucky enough to have my brother, Big Rome,
No doubt. What you say there?
my other brother, Nate, Big Easy Lofton.
What's up? What's up, baby? What's up? Yeah, I can be Tater on here today.
Oh, you can be Taylor on
Yeah,
here
say
today. Well,
that.
we know him as Taylor. Y'all can know him for whatever else y'all want.
hmm
Um, we're gonna adjust a little bit. We have a little bit of technical difficulty, but that's all right. All right, man. So let's go back to uh, I'm gonna take these headphones off so I can hear y'all better. To August 29th, 2005. Let's start with you, Tater. What do you remember about that day?
So man, it was crazy because um, you know, I was in Oregon trying to play for the Chinese Basketball Association. I had finished school or whatever that summer before. And my Pee Wee, well, my daddy, y'all know Pee Wee,
Yeah.
my daddy, Pee Wee picked me up from the airport, and on the 28th, he picked me up from the airport. Um, we was the only car coming up 10, coming back to the city, coming from the airport. Everybody else was leaving, and I was like, man, where everybody going? See, they got a hurricane come. He said, everybody leaving, they tripping. We gonna be all right. So I said, all right. And now I went, and I was standing across the street from I was standing across the court from my mom. I wasn't on the ride. I was on Claudio on the third floor. Um, and man, you know it was crazy because you know how people say they bust the levees and all that, right?
hmm
So my daddy told me and Will and Tyree, he was like, um, they gonna bust them levees. We were laughing at him. Y'all know Pee Wee. He's like,
Yeah.
whatever. We thinking he joked out. He's like, tell you how. We like, whatever.
Right.
And the hurricane hit that. Ain't really nothing happened though. It was good. It was the power was out, whatever. But it was cool. We went to bed, woke up, and then we just saw water rising, and it was insane.
Yeah. Let's wait till Big Rome get back, join us. His camera went dark.
There you
Rome,
go.
tell us about where you were August 29th, 2005.
Well, August 29th, I was grateful, man. I was fortunate than a lot of other people. And I think what kind of happened was I took a heed to the feel. Like I never had to leave for a storm before, but I had something tugging on me like the day before the storm hit to get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So I that Sunday I remember waking up, gassing up, and getting on the road and leaving. Taking a drive out, and yeah, and so me and my family we kind of rode out to Hot Springs, Arkansas, and we stayed out there thinking it was gonna be just a few days, you know, and I believe it was the Monday morning. Like they were showing live on television, like what was actually happening in the city. But I was in disbelief because I'm like, because I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I didn't know it was real until I saw pictures of like intersections in the city and how much water that intersection had been got. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how I knew it was real. I was like, damn, I know that intersection. Like, it don't look like that. The water
Right.
coming up to the courthouse steps and whatever. Yeah, it was a lot. So yeah.
That's not all right. So August 29th, Tater, you wake up, there's
Mm,
water coming to rise. What's your
mm,
immediate reaction?
shit, like what we gonna do? Like um, what we gonna do? Where we gonna go? Is the water just gonna go right back down? Because y'all know if it drizzle uptown, y'all know under the bridge gonna flood. You know what I
Right.
mean? So we
Yeah,
like
no doubt.
the water gonna do what it's gonna do. We just like, all right, we gonna just chill. Um, then I see, I ain't gonna say people name because this they story to tell, but they got people, like, let's go, we gotta get this and we need that. The water gonna rise, when it gonna stop? I'm 6'9", water at my waist.
Damn.
That's a lot of water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a lot of water, dog. If I'm 6'9", the water at my waist, that's a lot of water. So, um, yeah, man, it was coming and man, and I ain't never talked about none of this before, so I'm kind of it's good to get it out
Right.
finally. Um, so I got I know my daughters, they 25 and 21 now. They 5 and 1. Like um, so I'm thinking like, what we gotta do? Where we gonna go? We gonna go to we gonna go. We see. Well, it's that day. We just think the water gonna go down. We ain't knowing what's gonna happen, how it's going, where the water come from. You know. Then we on the third floor on Claudio. So when you walk to the cut, you can see the Superdome.
Yeah.
We could see that. And 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 people wasn't going over that yet though. It wasn't none. It was still stuff just happening. Then by that evening when they started, people was the water coming in, people was dying and people getting saved and all that. And then you started seeing on the bridge right there, you see people starting to line up and stuff, that next day. And so you're just thinking like, well, like somebody gonna come, right? Like somebody gonna
As you would expect, right? In a
yeah,
disaster
they're gonna
like that. Yeah.
but it was so much water. I was like, shit, they're gonna have to come on jet skis though. Like we boats, like we it's to my waist, So just waiting, man, just waiting to see and just having young kids and we in a HUD, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but we as the next day, whatever, we hearing, we standing out, at nighttime, we sitting on the porch, whatever. We had to go to Walmart. Walmart was, they busted open. Nobody wasn't out there, from what I saw, taking stuff they didn't need. I'm sure that was happening, but
Right.
I got 5 and 1 year old. We need
Right.
diapers.
Right. And that's that point is survival, right? It's not. I
Oh
always
yeah.
tell people it's not looting at that point. It's survival,
I
right?
tell people all the time though, if people, when it first happened 20 years ago, and and we can get into whatever happened, everything with it after, but people would say, why y'all didn't leave? It's like, man, where we gonna go?
Yeah.
Most of the people who we grew up with in our project ain't the farthest they ever been was the 17th to the
Right.
9th wall, probably. To the
Probably
9th wall.
go to Kinder, go to Celebration Station, but
That's
not
it.
too much further past that. Or Blue Bayou.
Mississippi is out of town for us.
Yeah.
So it's like also, and everybody contested that now we adults. Hotels is expensive. Like gas.
Gas to get out.
Like
Not only
understand.
that, I was looking at that documentary last night. They were actually running out of gas.
No, they did. No,
Yeah, they did. Yep.
They
Uh-huh.
did. Well, hey,
Ran out of gas.
Who even if you in the projects, right? For number one, we already down one, right?
Right.
Who got credit cards? My dad and my mom ain't had no credit card to even get a hotel room. You know what I mean? To even put gas in the truck. So that was just my thing. It's like, man, people don't understand. Like, it's so easy to say why y'all didn't go nowhere. Like, we didn't have no foundation to go nowhere.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been where I was at from the start if I could go somewhere. That's why I want people to understand. It's like, some of it was stubborn that you didn't want to leave because it always happened, but some of it was financially where you was going to go.
Oh, right.
Right.
So, Rome, you in Hot Springs at the time. What was your reaction when you see everything go back on, go on back home?
Gov, that was the first time ever seeing something so devastating. Me seeing that, it was, it was
just
crazy.
Like,
You never seen something like this ever before in life.
imagine being a kid, and just didn't believe it actually got to the city.
Oh, you breaking up, Rome?
You echoing wrong.
That
There you
better?
go.
You can hear me?
Yeah, both of them. Yep.
Okay, yeah, like actually like getting down to the city to kind of see it for myself. That was man, the bridge was in the water, the twin span was in the water, bro. Like, just seeing stuff, like seeing how dead the trees was, that was crazy. Seeing the watermarks on houses, yeah, bro. Anybody that had to experience something like that, it was just unbelievable, Yeah, being back then in Ninth Ward, my mother-in-law at the time, she was rebuilding the house right before the storm hit. Right back there, that her family left her, and she was just finishing up. I remember she was doing the floors in the house, and the house was like 2 blocks from where the levee was. And man, I remember coming back with her after Katrina, and her just dropping down, just crying, like just seeing what had happened. Yeah, devastating. Man.
It's crazy, man, to hear that. And I want to go back. Can I go back a little bit?
Yep.
So I just want to tell y'all just how we got out, though, right?
I was actually going to ask you that.
So we looking, so like by the cut, you can see the bridge. We see the bridge coming. So about 2 or 3 days later, people walking through the courtway. Man, they doing this they doing this inside the Superdome, and they doing that inside the Superdome. You don't know what's true, right? There's nowhere to know what's true, right? But one thing I do know, if you putting everybody in the Superdome, that means you putting everybody in the Superdome. Murders, rapists, thieves, whatever, right? So I can believe what some of the stuff they saying happening. So like I said, I got 5 and 1 year. So I was talking to my mom and my dad, because they was on 1, but they came up on 3 by us because the water was coming up. And so they was on the first floor, so they came up on the 3rd floor. I'm saying 1 and 3. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking, and me and Reed and Will, we like, man, we gotta go. We gotta get from out here. And so my dad, like, he didn't want to drive the truck through the water, right?
That's what it was at the green F-150. Did
The
y'all
green
have
F-150. Yep.
F-150?
Yep. He didn't want to drive it through the water, right? You know, it wasn't even 10 years old yet. It's still his baby then, right?
Right.
And so and they were saying if you go over going across the bridge, what's his name? Was it Harry Lee? Is it Harry Lee? What was the sheriff's name over there?
Yeah, Harry Lee.
Yeah, on the
It
other
was
side.
Harry Lee at the time. Yeah.
They was gonna pop you. They pop because they think everybody's stealing. So if you want to go over there, you had your ID had West Bank on it, right? Whatever on the West Bank. So when you could go across the bridge. So we like, man, we gotta go. You know, we running out of food, ain't nothing. So I told them, which is funny looking back on it. I told them, let's go steal a van from by the Greyhound, a truck up by the Greyhound by by Amtrak. Now both of y'all know me. I ain't never stole nothing in my life. I ain't never stole no car. They don't know that.
Right.
But it's desperate means, right? Desperate measure. We gonna figure it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we walking to go around the store like by Farellas, and then my dad, he called us like, no, come on, we gonna do it with the truck. So he said, I got an idea. So we had the truck in the field in front of our house, in front of my mom's house,
right
in the field where we play football at. So he telling me, Tyree and Will, like, this is what I'm gonna do. So we like, all right, cool. So he put it in neutral, and we pushed out the truck out the field through the courtway. We threw it through the courtway, went all the way like down where Farellas was, like past where the Allen stayed at.
yeah.
We pushed it through that, got down. We got down, like right there, like
on that curve.
Yep. You know that
curve
thing right there.
Yeah.
You know, the poles was the only spot where we pushed it down. We pushed that truck down, us three, my dad in the driver's side, all the way by St. John, by Dry Street.
Yeah.
And he cranked it up. Boy, we went crazy, dog. You'd have thought the water had drained, Rome, because it's like, okay, we got a chance, right? So now the next thing is, so it wound up being 13 of us in my dad's truck. It was different people. I ain't gonna tell people, you know, that's no tell, but it was 13 of us totals in the truck, right? So people, all the women and the children was in inside, and all the men and the boys was in the bed of the truck. We going across the bridge, and they was like, man, we can't go across there, So my daddy said, if I see it open, I'm gonna take it.
Right.
And so he drove, and like it was blocking and let through, and he went through, and he rode the window down. They saw all them kids and all the women in there, and they told us to go ahead. Let us know. We called Nolan, and because Nolan and his family at the time said, I said, where y'all at? He was like, we're in Houston. I said, why y'all in Houston? He said they giving out Red Cross gift card, $350 a person.
Right.
That's the only reason we went to Houston, dog. The only reason, like, we had no money, bro. Like, we went to the reason we went to Houston because Nolan said Red Cross giving out gift card for $350 a person, bro. And we was like, all right, like at least everybody in the car can get $350.
Right.
And that's why we went to Houston, though.
Hey, Rome, try your camera again. I want to see if that stops the echo. I just did something on the board.
You can still hear it? You can still hear the echo?
No,
you good now. You good now. You clear on my end. I don't know about on G.
Yeah, you good. Try your camera and see.
This camera working?
It's on.
No, I don't have you.
Oh, you took him out the big.
Hold on. Let me get you back in so we can see your beautiful face, you fucker.
Yeah, I can see him on here, but he's not on the.
I got it on the laptop now. I took it off the phone. If that makes.
Okay. Hold on. Let me get you back on here, brother. There he is.
I think when they went to echo and you hit something up and they pulled them out to the side though.
Bam.
Most definitely.
Yes. People that don't know hot springs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's not like New Orleans. You don't see very many people that look like us in Hot Springs or Hot Springs Village.
Right, right.
How did y'all hold it? First of all, why did y'all choose Hot Springs?
Okay, I didn't choose it. Well, when I left with my girl at the time. With my daughter was 5 months at the time. That was crazy. So that's a good thing I wasn't in the city, and I didn't. I saw like video of guys out there with their babies and stuff like that, hot sun and whatever. My daughter was 5 months at the time. Imagine running out of milk for her. You know what I'm saying? So all this going on, and you got babies out there, you got elderly, whatever. But yeah, so what ended up happening was I left to go with my girl at the time, my daughter and her family, right? My mom and my brothers and a couple sisters, they was with the local ministry at the time, and
Right.
they ended up leaving with that ministry, and they had vans and everything like that, so they ended up leaving that way. So what ended up happening was we ended up going the same way. I went to Hot Springs. They went to Hot Springs Village, and but I believe that was
That
nine
makes sense.
9 miles apart, right? You know what I'm saying? So it put us in the same vicinity. So, but when I did find out that they were there, um, I ended up connecting with them and ended up hooking up with my family. We ended up getting jobs and everything out in Hot Springs Village, and just around, and getting apartments. That little ministry helped out a lot. That was in the local church that was in Hot Springs Village. Yeah. So man, we had apartments, man. We had people really blessing us at the time. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So most definitely, like, no matter what we went, New Orleans was getting some sort of discount or something on something. You know what I'm saying? Nobody,
Yeah.
look, bring your ID with you to the counter. They was giving discounts and things like that. People were helping out. Yeah.
Now it showed you two things. I think it showed you the people. It showed you there was good people in the world, and it showed
So,
you that some of the people you thought you could depend on, you couldn't really depend on. So it was eye opening to that fact. To like, okay, family ain't calling me. Where my
mhm.
family at? Right?
Hmm. And that was the realization for some people too.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then we was in Walmart. We stopped at Beaumont. You know, it was, think about it, it's 13 people in the car. Ain't no bags. You can't put no bags in there. We ain't
Right.
got nothing.
Right.
We got on. Remember, I had some green tumblers. That's all I had. We standing in line in Walmart, pooling together no money to get, to buy some food and stuff. And I was talking to the lady in front of me in line. She talked to me about 10 minutes, asked about, what we went through and everything, and how old the girls was and everything. So we got up there. My mom, we putting stuff up. My mom, she crazy, but she's smart. So she
Yeah.
she
Yeah. Yeah.
had it. She bought like a little hot little grill thing for her. She was buying red beans and stuff. I'm like, when we get to Houston, we going to a hotel. We actually went to a motel. I'll tell you about that. But
Mhm.
we about to check out. And the cash register was like, man, the lady before you paid for all y'all stuff. She left her credit card and said she gonna come back and get it. I was like, damn, I cried,
Yeah.
because this stranger who don't know us, just know what we just went through, she deciding to just bless us like that. So that put me on a different level. Like, okay, like we gonna get through this. I'm gonna focus and I'm gonna figure something out, right?
Hmm.
And it just made me think, like, man, people are good. It's like there's some good people out there who come through, but it made me realize, like, man, like, where my family at? Ain't nobody calling a check. Yeah, my brother was it. My brother called, bro, and Amir Abdul Rahim called, my college
Hmm.
teammate. That's who called. That's who called. Who to check those two, and my aunt Joyce.
Yeah.
Other than that, it is. But it's all good though. Like, it was a lesson learned for me from that day on. Like, okay, like that's what it's gonna be. Yeah, that, these quote unquote, supposed to be family, and they doing better. They couldn't reach down. Cool. That's how we gonna roll. That's roll.
Yeah.
Well, no doubt.
So one of the most, now I'm not even gonna say disturbing. I'm gonna say one of the most fucked up things that came from this was the fact that everywhere you turned, they were calling people from New Orleans refugees.
Yeah.
Give me you guys thoughts on that, because I mean, I don't think you really can talk to people from New Orleans without that being a pain point for them in that situation.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ro. I thought we were survivors, right? I thought if we gonna put something on it, I thought we was survivors, right? And it's crazy you say that, because my agent called me at Merrill Scott. He was like, "What you need?" I was like, "Man, we driving up. We ain't got, I don't know where we gonna sleep at." He paid for 2 motel rooms for the 13 of us. He paid for that
Mm-hmm.
out of his pocket. No family, nothing. Nobody called me. I ain't had got a contract from nobody. I wasn't making no money, and I was trying to get somewhere, right?
Right.
And he called me the next day, and well, probably like a week later. I don't know the timeline. A week, whatever. He was paying for everything, so probably a week to 10 days later, he was like, the Globetrotters in town doing a charity event for the. He stopped himself. He was like, well, it was put as for the refugees of Hurricane Katrina. He was like, but y'all ain't no refugee, for the survivors of Hurricane Katrina. That's when I got survived. And asked me that I wanted to go train or work out, whatever. But yeah, man, like refugee is crazy. Like, you can't be a refugee
In your own
in
country.
your country.
Right.
You're in your own
Right.
country. We not. It's not a war going on, and we leaving and we running across borders. Like, yeah, I crossed the Texas border. He crossed the Texas and Arkansas border. Like,
Right.
we ain't strangers. So it's like, what it mean? But you know what, man? Y'all know, right? We out the mouth, right? So
Hell yeah.
we've been called much worse when we go
No
places
doubt.
downtown.
Well,
when we was
definitely.
when we sitting on the ramp at 12 years old, and the police pulling up on us because
Mhm.
of all us oversized. We all big. We look like we adults selling dope. We've been called worse.
Right.
So my thing is like, yeah, man. Like, forget what they saying. Forget what people saying. No, they don't matter. No,
Right.
it really. At the end of the day, as we get
At the end of the day,
mature,
yeah.
as we mature, but in that time, yeah, that hurt, boy.
Yeah.
A refugee.
Most definitely.
Hey, Rome, let's get your thoughts on that.
Imagine going through that whole entire experience with being out at the convention center and seeing these bodies on the ground and the bodies floating in the waters, and and then all this good stuff, hearing things in the Superdome where you're trying to get refuge in the Superdome, when you're trying to take refuge, and got people in the city feeling like nobody cared because help took so long. You know what I'm saying?
So long.
What's up? Like, we got a lot of money for a lot of different other things, but during that time, I guess they was waiting on somebody to press the button. You know what I'm saying? So, but imagine going through all that, and then you hear the words, "You refugee." As you moving from state to state, you seeking shelter in places. You know what I'm saying? You're away from you're away from your home. You know what I'm saying? This is new to you, totally new. The money funny, you know what I'm saying? Like, the money funny, you traveling, paying for hotels, and you seeking, and you got to hear these words, you know what I'm saying? But like Tater said, man, it's a good thing. Like, we out the melt. We were built for it tough. So, it's just we can take those words. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna stand on those words. Yeah. We make you stand on it too. Yeah.
Yeah. It just felt like there's a little bit more salt in the wound, right? Like,
Right.
like kick a motherfucker while they down type shit.
Right.
That But when
And I think most people didn't mean nothing by it though either though, Gup.
No
yeah,
doubt.
It's people repeat what's coming from
the
above,
media,
what they see
yep,
on the news
Yeah,
and everything. Like
yeah,
the refugees from New Orleans is in town. The
Mhm.
refugees
right,
from New Orleans is in town. Now
Let's
listen,
correct the wording.
and people gotta understand. We gonna do and people gonna do what they know, right? I knew how to work. I knew how to play ball, so I was gonna try to figure out that, right? If somebody, they hustling, they coming from hustling, they gonna keep hustling. You coming from doing this, and you gotta. If it took them so many days to even get down there, we can't depend on nobody. I
right,
gotta go
right,
get it.
right.
So however it needed to be got, people had to get. And like I respect that. If you're doing it for your family, you doing it because you're trying to feed your children.
Yeah.
Everything,
No
everything wide open.
Anything
Everything
when
fell.
when you're in survival mode, anything goes. I feel like, right?
Everything fell.
Like my mom went to Walmart and she was in there, and I'm not gonna call it looting. She was getting what she needed to get, but she was in that bitch comparing prices. And then I remember my auntie was like, "Why the fuck are you looking at prices right now? Just grab the shit,
doubt. No
just
doubt.
grab the shit and go." Like
Most doubt.
we
Man,
not shot. We getting the stuff that we need. But
Nah.
man,
what was so fucked up, and I can tell the story now. She's gone. Guess what she was getting? School uniforms. Motherfucker ain't gonna be in school no time soon.
She wasn't doing nothing but using her head, Gup.
she'll be
Yeah,
smart.
they ain't gonna be school no time soon.
Hey, she's looking out for the grandkids, man.
Most
She's
doubt.
looking out for her
Oh
grandkids.
man, it was.
No
I was
doubt.
like, what the hell, man?
No doubt.
I
Most
had to
doubt.
have. I'm gonna take my mid episode drink of water
Most definitely.
because we potting in the afternoon. All right, so uh, recovery takes a little time. A little time. They bring an army general in to kind of expedite the recovery efforts of, I want to say personnel, not even the city. But you watch some of these documentaries. One of the things that was highlighted was the fact that state leadership and national leadership decided to deploy the National Guard, right? And it turns to a security mission instead of a humanitarian rescue mission. Let's speak on that a little bit.
Well,
Like,
so
why was that necessary?
because we got people in power who don't know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, and who don't like. Listen, come on now.
Yeah, if you just waded through waist high water and you starved and you haven't had water, you dehydrated, haven't had water for a few days, haven't had food for 3 days, the last thing I want is somebody in uniform pointing a gun at me, right?
Let's
And,
just
and
let's
just
just say this.
and
Go
just
back to
treat
this.
me like I'm a criminal. I
Let's go
just
back to this,
want
bro.
to, yeah,
So we all agree that the leverage broke, right?
right.
Now we can disagree, or agree if they blew them up to save an area,
They were down.
or or they just came down, right? It
Right.
don't matter, but they went down, and you know why they went down? Because the people who's controlling the finances to take care of the levees was doing something else with the
Doing
finances.
something else with the funds. Yep.
It
Yep.
ain't how did it. It is what it is. Like the gut, they didn't found thousands of dollars in their freezers. From all our mayors and governors, all of them have been the feds, right? We got
Yeah.
people that just got indicted, right?
Right.
So how we gonna depend on them when
Right.
they already got it going?
Mhm.
Y'all remember when we was younger, when you go across the river, the toll bridge.
Yeah.
You had to pay
Pay
cash down.
a dollar to get back across to your side.
Mhm.
That shit vanished. They don't know where none of that money went.
Yeah, and now they don't even have them no more.
Don't even
No,
right.
because
Don't
they
even
don't
have.
know where it went at. So imagine 20-some years of dollars every right. So I'm just saying that to say, that's the people who making decisions. How we expect
Right.
them to make a decision with our best interest when they've never been making a decision with our best
Mhm.
interest, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, of course they come in. They're gonna have the National Guard and then the security, and then not. They're gonna be protecting a certain class of people, homes, and doing the things they was doing.
Huh?
I got lucky in the aspect for me, even how terrible this was. if it wasn't for Katrina, I wouldn't have never made the next step I made
Right.
because
Yeah, and
like I told you.
we're gonna get into that. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into that. So
Yeah.
I wasn't there for. I went home one time to check on my mom, to check on the project to see what was going on, and food in the refrigerator for all those weeks. Y'all know how it went and all
Yeah.
that. But I didn't have to go back after that, so I can let Rome speak on coming back more than me because I didn't go back. I went off to that journey, but we can talk about that at another point.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's go back to the levy conversation real quick. Revisit that. They were told for years that those levees were only created and they will only sustain a Category 3 storm.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that they were built to.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew that if this shit was happening, a city that's a bowl, 8 feet
Mm-hmm.
below sea level, that it was going to get catastrophic. And
Mm-hmm.
they did nothing to reassure those levees, to build those
Even though they was
levees,
getting funded to do
even though they was getting funded to it.
Mhm.
From whoever they was getting funded
it.
from.
Yeah.
I mean, you have countries like Amsterdam that can have these outstanding levee cities, and here we are, the most powerful country in the world. We can't build a levee
Yeah.
to keep water out of a major city.
Yeah.
It's really weird, and most people probably don't look at it. But look at the area that those levees protect.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that somewhere along the lines that these people's like, if these levees break, really how much is being lost if you look what's surrounded by it, right?
Yeah.
From a socioeconomic standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they probably like we actually may benefit if we wipe some of these people out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is a crazy way to think, but you saw it happen with Hurricane Betsy, and
Hmm.
they rebuilt it, but didn't rebuild enough to sustain more than the hurricane Category
Mm-hmm.
3, and then it happens again in 2005. I mean, like some got to give some heads got to roll for that, right?
Yeah.
Some heads
Yeah.
got to roll for that.
No
So
doubt.
Rome, you went. When did you go back to the city after being in Hot Springs?
I went back to the city maybe a month and a half, 2 months after the storm hit. Because at one time they wasn't letting you in the city.
Right,
They,
right.
they didn't have gas in the city, and power was you wasn't getting power unless you was in the French quarters. You know what I'm saying. I
Of
believe
course, right?
they had power a week after the storm had hit. So you know what I'm saying. So, but when I went back, it was like a month and a half, 2 months after the storm. Um, and that on the way back in, this is when I was able to see that the twin span bridge had fell into the water. There was no bridge. They put a makeshift bridge up, with 2 lanes of traffic, going east and going west.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you couldn't even trust the bridge the way it looked. So, but going through that way, so now I'm coming in through the east, and now so the east had. That's when you can see all the dead trees, bro. Like just you knew it was death. That's what it felt like going back in through death. Whatever. Seeing just things dead and cars everywhere, and just the watermarks in places where you can see it, and just imagining what was happening when that water rushed in there and those people were sleeping in their beds and things like that. So, so it was that type of feel. It was eerie. You know what I'm saying? It was
Mm-hmm.
eerie to get back into the city and just see things. And then we was actually making a stop into the city just to see, like, check on my mom's house, my house, and whatever, and just different things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a crazy time, girl. Yeah,
So it's so weird. Like a year later, that city still had like this eerie feeling because I went
yeah,
down in '06,
yeah.
and it felt weird, right?
Well,
The things that you used to seeing not there,
uh-huh.
um,
Mhm.
and it was just shocking, to see everything that you remember from your childhood just gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Gone.
Like stores, houses that you're familiar with. Uh, the playgrounds that you probably played in. But most important was like what really hit is just like you knew that it was a realization that the people that you grew up with, that your kids will probably never grow up together. And I think as us as friends is probably one of the things that we look forward to. You know, like we grew up together, and then our kids will possibly grow up together. And I feel like Katrina just wiped that away.
Get away.
Because it looked like
Yeah,
how many people, if you had the opportunity to get out, and I was grateful that I did, but at some point I planned on coming back home, right? And then Katrina kind of robbed you of that,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
you know.
yeah.
So, go ahead.
No, it was what you saying. You touch on is tough because it just sped up the gentrification of the area. The knocking the projects down and everything like that. Because what you say that is like it's weird because our mothers grew up together,
Right.
in that damn project, right? So,
Oh.
and probably our grandmothers too, right? So it's like it stopped at us, and if I wish that part wasn't there, right? I wish that we still can have that, right? I always wish we didn't have the murder and the mayhem, of course, right?
Right.
But the community, the family aspect of those projects, man, like it's my foundation, it's what I stand on, and what I reach back to know that I came up in that, and like I said, I did an interview and I was like, man, listen. Hey, it was murders, man. I saw my first murder at 6. Like I saw it after that, right? And I said, but I had so much fun in that project growing up, man. We didn't know. We thought everybody was the same level. We all, but it's different level. I'm no better than the next person back here. All our rent $25. It went so we had fun though, right? We had fun though, and nobody can understand that. Like it's going to be different. Nobody can to see. People don't understand what you lost. We lost all. I have no pictures from when I was younger. We lost all our photos. We lost everything. My mama got a couple photos left, so it's like that stuff is gone. So you gotta hold on to what you knew and what you built. Like New Orleans is different, man. Like see, people understand though. And I would say this, and y'all understand. People say, "You from Louisiana?" No.
Yep.
I'm from New Orleans, but then I'm from Uptown. That's something different.
Yeah.
I'm from the Third Ward. That's something different. I'm from the Mouth. That's something that's different. I'm off Clio. That's something different. So people understand, people understand how we break down, how we connect to where we come from, because like when you travel, somebody from Louisiana, there's love, right?
Right.
Shreveport, wherever, right? And somebody from New Orleans is love.
Love that. That's love.
Yeah.
It's love, but if they went to Newman or Reed, they don't really, they don't know, right? So, but if somebody say they're from New Orleans, the 7th Ward, there's love.
Right.
The 3rd Ward, the 7th Ward still gotta,
I gotta watch it a little bit.
Same people. But then somebody say out the 3rd Ward, you're like, okay, you from Uptown. Well, you went to Durham? All right, you went to. I went to Wilson too. So it's like that when you travel in the world, and I've met people everywhere. But when somebody say, yeah, my cousin out the Mouth, who like,
exactly? Yeah.
No, I'm getting chilled up. That connection of like, I remember I was in Phoenix, Arizona, my second year on the team, the Globetrotters. Dude was standing at the door, didn't want to let nobody in the club, right? It was like 6 of us, right? I walked up, and I still had my New Orleans accent, right? They didn't Globetrotters play a lot of money for me to lose, so people can understand me around the world.
Right.
But it was still heavy, and I said, "What's happening, baby? Why you let nobody in the door?" I was like, "We stand out here. We got money. You heard me?" And then he was like, "You're from New Orleans?" I was like, "Yeah." Then he was like, "Where from?" I was like, "So I'm uptown. I'm out the Mouth, 2311 Erada Street, Apartment A." He was like, "Oh, come on, you good? You made it out of there." his family is from like the Cali or something, right? But just right there, like people don't understand we lost that, right? That's it's not going to be that anymore from that, right? You still can have those streets, you still can have that neighborhood, and you still have those buildings in those spots, but ain't nobody gonna understand hanging on a ramp, sitting
No.
in the cut,
In the
No.
cut,
we going to Pinkies,
No.
we playing, we playing man overboard. Ain't nobody gonna
Uh-huh.
understand playing
Freeze
freeze in the
tag.
ice time.
freeze,
Yeah.
playing
Yeah,
freeze,
yeah,
playing cool
Cool
can.
can.
right. And
Google.
it set
You hear me?
it was set up to be to hone that in those courtways, right? So it's like that was taken from us. Like, for me, like when I came down there for the Saints game, like I brought my son on like basketball, so I took him on Mo the King, by the I went by a hospital, but took him by the basketball court. Right? That ain't my court though. We went over there and we cut up. We couldn't be.
But that wasn't outside. That
But
wasn't
It
outside.
wasn't outside, yeah.
I played over there, but when it got dark, I was from over there. I had to go on my side because
Yeah.
you're on the avenue. The avenue ain't no joke. So my son, like, yeah, we play right here, whatever. But my hoop was down in front of Brian Cockham house.
Yeah.
That's over down there. And Tony, I can't never tell a story. Show my son when the first time Tony threw me an alley hoop. It was 6:30 in the morning. And my first dunk, I was 11. Can't show him that no more, man. That shit hurts.
It's gone. And that's why I think when I go back home, like, where's the field? Like, how many hours a day? Like, I tell my girls, I'll say, man, we would go outside from 6 o'clock in the morning till
Yep.
8 or 9, and we just rotate the sports.
Mhm.
Basketball, then football, go back to basketball,
Yeah.
play baseball with one base.
Mhm.
You run to the
Oh,
sewer,
yeah.
and then run back to home base.
Cool
Mhm.
can.
Play cool can, see how Sue can knock the ball over the roof.
Eddie playing that with your brother. Your brother, that damn Brian smacking that.
he just smacked the shit out of the ball.
Brian smacking that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he smacked the shit out of that ball playing cool can. But before I transition, I want to go into to highlight the resiliency of people from the Melf. I want to, before I transition to that, how has Katrina had an effect on y'all mentally for the last 20 years? I know, like I said, we started the show saying that this is something that haven't been talked about. So go ahead, Big Ron.
I think since Katrina, now it's like since it has happened to you before, I feel like you automatically want to prepare yourself for next time. You know what I'm saying? Just in case. You know what I'm saying? So I don't play with no storm from this day on out. Like, if anything moving towards New Orleans like that, I'll be ready to go. But it's just being prepared for what could possibly come next. What's the next thing? Like, New Orleans ain't never out of danger, so I feel like you got to be strong through this situation. Now that you know it could happen,
Right.
just always be on your toes and ready for it.
So you constantly from August from when the hurricane season starts to the end,
Yes, sir.
it's just mentally anxious, right? It's
Yes. Just
especially like you
yeah.
have family. All of us have family back down there now. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know me personally, I had to put stuff aside because who said it's not going to happen, and what if they have to reach out? What if they have to reach out for help, and I want to be able to be there. And every year is frightening, man.
Oh yeah.
Every year you're so glad when hurricane season is over, and then you're just like, all right, next year,
Yeah. Right.
for next year,
Yeah.
and then the year after that.
Yeah.
What about you, Taylor? How has that mentally affected you the last 20 years?
Man, it messed me up, man. It messed me up, like, because like right now, like even just the first time, like I went in depth about it, because y'all understand and I trust y'all, right? So even though there's other people gonna see this, but y'all get it. I'm talking to my boys that grew up with, so y'all get it. So like right now, it's mentally messed me up. I haven't been able to watch none of those Hurricane Katrina documentaries because I didn't blocked out so much of that stuff, man. Like, that's why my days and stuff when stuff happened with it, I try to forget it because it hurts so much because it's the pain of of your family not being to help you is tough, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and for people who not your family to help you. And like that lady didn't even know who I was in the store. She didn't know us for nothing. She paid for all our stuff, and it hurts. But it's multiple, right? It mentally it hurt. And I'm gonna watch the Katrina one. One of y'all sent it out group text. I'm gonna watch that one, the Ron Coogler one, right?
Right.
I'm gonna watch that one. I'm gonna watch that one. Try to. Well, we're going to the CU game after this, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to watch that tonight or tomorrow. But it mess you up, man, because like and like you said, I'm ready. You know what? You know what Katrina did? Prepare me for COVID. Prepare me for
The
COVID
mental shit that
because
went
I
on with
said,
COVID. That's true.
I told Nolan we was at that Motel 6 on Katy Freeway, baby, and Katy Highway. And I'm sitting out. We sitting outside. It's like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's like I said, it was Nolan and them had the answer, but the 13 of us, we had two hotel rooms, so I wasn't sleeping in the hotel room. Right, we just hanging out. I told him, I said, I ain't never letting this happen again. I said, whatever I gotta do, I'm gonna do. Something like this happened again, I'm gonna be ready. And so from that day on, I was ready. Like if something hit right now, hit my mama, my daughters and them down there right now, I got multiple ways, means. I ain't even tripping. Now, I got
Mm-hmm.
credit cards on top of credit cards that's just sitting there, ready to hotel rooms, whatever they need
Right.
for them not to go through that, right? So it made me like, okay, I'm not gonna settle for anything. I'm gonna be financially secure till when something happens, I got it. It ain't gonna be no we can't leave because we ain't got gas money,
Yeah, come on.
hotel money.
Right.
That never happened again. No way.
Right.
That's what I said. Like
Uh-huh.
so when COVID hit, man, COVID was let's just say like if there's a storm and then there's a drizzle. Let's say the Katrina was a storm. To me, COVID was a drizzle. I wasn't tripping. What? That like of course, I don't want nobody to die and all those things like that, but being stuck, having to do whatever. And my thing was I did what I was supposed to do, right? Because it hit, last time something happened, I ain't have nothing. I was was in the project, we was whatever. This time I said it, I was straight, and what that was 15 years later, right? Or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
15 years later, I hit, I was straight. Listen, I ain't tripping. I don't care what happened. I don't care what needs to be done. I got a lot on all these. I got about 10 credit cards. It's gonna take a long time to max these out. I ain't about owing nobody nothing either, because
Yeah.
it don't matter. If everything go in, I'm gonna be right. So I
I
think
was gonna say, like, what's interesting is that how it fucked up people so much mentally. We talk every day in our group chat, and we never bring up Katrina.
no, can't. I can't.
That's great. We talk about everything under the sun, but we've never, until this last 2 weeks, we've never mentioned Katrina.
It's painful, dog. Like
No doubt.
to see to and to go back, right? Well, like when I say we
Yeah.
brung my daddy truck by St. John.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and put my daughters on like a little blow up raft to walk through that water back to the truck. So we couldn't bring the truck back.
But yeah, right.
So I was like, man, I hope that Tasia don't remember this.
They do though, bro.
Like
I'm telling you, because my sisters
I'm
are
saying,
old. My sisters are older than her, and they would. I wanted them to jump on. It's like can't do it yet.
Mm-hmm.
so like it's like now you do feel like, I bet they probably feel like a refugee. Like think about it, you going through a boat, you on a boat, a floating raft. So so man, so I don't know, man. It's just mentally, I'm still ain't there. I still, it pushes me to make sure that I wouldn't, if something happened, I'll be financially okay to take care of myself. But mentally, I'm not. I still can't. Like imagine seeing a body tied up to a stop sign, bro.
No doubt.
Or just walking past floating dead bodies. That's what
Yeah,
one of the things my sisters and cousins remember.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. If you stay long, right? If you was in that convention center, if you was in that dome, like
You was
people
walking
got
past
real.
dead bodies. You was
They got
surrounded by
real.
dead bodies.
Yeah, I bet you. I bet they felt like a refugee, right? They felt like they was in a third world country, and we did too, on different levels. But man, like, shoot, man, like that
Yeah.
it's no joke. People don't understand, man. Like, it shit ain't fun and games, man. It ain't just a thing that happened that's cool and it's like, no, man. People died, man.
Yeah.
Some people have never recovered. Some people like
Right.
never been the same. Like, you lose your roots have gone, right?
Mhm.
And
The foundation's gone. Yep.
yeah. It messed me up on the aspect of my family. Not my immediate family.
Yeah.
I had my mom. I had my dad and my mom, my brother.
Yeah.
To where it's like Katrina hit, nobody called. I give it to Globetrotters because I was in Houston, whatever, and the Globe was doing a charity event, so I got to work out whatever. Everybody got my number.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
That's fucked up, dog. That's messed up.
Yeah.
That's messed up that you didn't check to see if I was dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You didn't check to see if I was dead, but now all of a sudden, 8 months later, Globetrotters coming to your city.
I want.
Now you want tick? Now I'm cousin.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
So that right there, it helped speed up. And for me, I was like, you know what?
Speed up a process of elimination.
Process. I ain't gotta worry about y'all letting me down.
Yeah, I get it.
So I know I can't. Cool. I'm gonna stick with the people I grew up with. The people who's in the projects with me is my family. That's my guys. We've been through that together, right? Because it's like, and I don't know, man. It still blows my mind to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ted, I feel you like when you talking about like these memories from Katrina. Like we had memories back in the day, and people they wouldn't fathom it. You right when you say like I'm from the Mouth. I'm from uptown. I'm out the third wall, but I'm from the Mouth. So most definitely when they hear that, they wouldn't fathom like those memories that we lose, and we back in those days I ain't had one of those video recorders. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's a lot that we did together. Go and play football against different projects and things like that. And I remember we won a championship. You know what I'm saying?
And they gave us those cheap ass blue jackets. Sugar.
That's all we got. That's all we got.
They couldn't even stop winning. It'll stop water, but not win.
Yeah, I was proud of my jacket. I was all at school with it the next day. Yeah.
It's different, man, because those memories, that warms me, dog. That makes me happy, man. Thinking about when we played, I was talking, I coach my son right now, and he played on a competitive team, right? And I'm looking at these, and his team doesn't, but most of these teams you paying, $3,000 for 8 weeks or 10, 12 weeks, right, for to go play basketball. And I was like, man, we played Project League. We went to the St. Bernard Center. We went to the Desire.
Yep. Fought in that bitch. Got in some fights in there, though.
And we was back-to-back at least 6 times out of the 8 times we going. We're going to be a fight. And if, and
Boy,
if it ain't
every
a fight,
chance we got in there,
it's going to be a fight. So for me, it's like, I love that, though, right? I love that we had to fight every time I went and played basketball. Because when I got to college, all that shit was nothing.
Yeah. Like, I grew up fighting for shit.
It's like, bro, shut up, man. Shut up, dog. You don't really want to fight. You stunting. Basketball court got shot up, dog. I watched. I'm not gonna say their name. And I watched 2 people play basketball 1-on-1. Me and Wayne were sitting on the bench, on the bricks, up
on the bricks,
on the bricks up by the end, not by the end.
The tall part.
And somebody playing 1-on-1, right? they all friends. I'll tell y'all offline. They all friends, and they playing, and Skull about to be tied up. This dude pulled out 2 9s or 245s. Like, oh, I forgot I had these on me. Bro, they were playing 1-on-1 for about 40 minutes, and he had 2 guns on him. So you think I'm worrying about in college or what?
Yeah.
Man, I play real basketball.
Yeah.
I saw somebody shoot the ball with a 357.
Yep.
Y'all know what I'm
Because they
talking
were
about?
losing.
Y'all know what I'm talking about? No, 'cause
Yes,
he get picked.
indeed. Yeah, I remember the day.
Yeah,
I remember
come
the
on
day.
now, like,
That we call that the new court, right by the. That happened on the new
By the
court
cut.
by the cut.
by the cut, yeah. By my
Yeah.
house. By the grandma house. So,
Yeah.
so them just some stories, man. Like to lean back on that. Like I said, man, like I've done a lot, man. I've been blessed.
Yep.
I would not change my childhood. Besides the murder, besides the lives lost, I would not go back to have all the money and whatever and not live in that project because I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be a stand-up, loyal, straight-up dude. I would not be built how I'm built because I said when these people that are running to the door of business, they don't have no morals. I come from the smallest projects in New Orleans. But we was the wildest. Our project,
Oh yeah.
everywhere we went, we was the smallest.
And we were going together.
Well, see, I try to tell people, I said how I grew up. You know, it might be that's any project. I ain't gonna say no name. Let's say this project got 200 dudes there, and we only got 50, right? We gonna win the fight because all 50 of us gonna fight. Ain't but 35 of them 200 gonna fight. Because we already know we used to get on the bus to go to the project league. Uzi was out coach, Suge was out coach.
Yeah.
Hawk looked back and said, "Whoever don't fight, gotta fight me."
Yeah.
Right? So I ain't trying to fight with no Hawk.
Yeah, that one fight in Desire, man.
Even though he's starting it.
Yeah. Hey man, as we wrap this thing up, one thing I do want to highlight is the resiliency of our friends, of our culture, of our hood, of the Melf, of New Orleans people in general.
Mm-hmm.
Rome, how'd you get the fortitude, the strength to get where you are, do what you're doing now? What was key in you overcoming those days to get where you are?
You know, it gotta be our upbringing, girl. It is our upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Where we come from. You know, my mama had 11 kids. You know what I'm saying? So 11 kids, 3-bedroom apartment in the project, and I'm the oldest boy. Yeah. So yeah, I had to all my life. I had to be like a go getter, just so my brothers be able to lead follow in the footsteps with that, being somebody that they can admire. Like even with my daughters, you know what I'm saying? You already know how we built. You know, we done been through everything. We done, you know what I'm saying? I don't, a lot of people ain't come from how we grew up. You know what I'm saying? What actually made us, and like you say, being outside all day, playing football, basketball, never willing to stop. We gonna win at something. If we throwing eggs at each other, you know, we gonna do something. And I think that kind of made us, man. You know, we didn't have much. You know, in my household, we didn't have much at all. You know, 11 kids, and we was really one of those children that had the little T-shirt on where it looked like you didn't bit on it all day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. Go inside, mama say you smell like outside. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Them streets made us, and my thing with me all throughout life, I was never, I never want to just give up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, as long as I can put these 2 feet on the concrete, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? I got so many people that's behind me and that follows in my footsteps, and you know, whatever, and admire me. So giving up is like not only giving up on myself, but giving up on them as well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go get it, Gup. Yeah. No doubt.
All right. One of the things that came from this catastrophic thing for you, Tata, is
Mm,
you was able to spend what 14, 15 seasons as
16. Yep.
16 seasons as a member of the
Mm,
world famous Harlem Globetrotters. How many years
mm.
as a showman?
I was a showman probably 14 of those years.
So, and get to travel all over the world. How many countries have you been to? I think I used to
Over
know
ni-
the number.
it's over 90. I forgot what it is.
Yeah.
Over 90.
Last
Either
I
100
checked, it
over.
was last I heard it was like 95 or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but how has that experience, knowing something like that, resulted from some catastrophic? How has that made you to the person you are today?
Man, it's hold on. I'm sorry. My son got 104 fever. Hold on.
Oh,
My
no
wife going to get him
Steve.
from school. No, no,
Uh,
wife going to get him from school.
uh,
Anyway, then the baby girl sleeps, so she'll tell you. Sorry. It's going through there, going with Katrina, right? So they always say something good come out of something bad, right? And it just depends on who you are. For everybody, it's not something good came out of it because it's death, right? You lost family members, and we said everything we lost. Um, but that resilience in being in Houston, it's crazy. I think about it. If Nolan would have told me that he went to Atlanta, I would have never got with the Globetrotters.
yeah, right. You would have
But
went to Atlanta.
I'd have went to Atlanta,
Yeah.
right? Like he said he was in Houston and they was giving out Red Cross gift cards. It's the only reason we went to Houston to go get $250, bro. It's the only reason. And it was there, and the Globetrotters was doing an event with the NBA, and it was supposed to be a work or just a workout, but it was a tryout. And I got with the team, and history was set. Emotion for me to do a lot, and I enjoy, and that's why my name with the team was Big Easy though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I miss home. Like you got to think about it. For me, like I felt like survivor's remorse. I couldn't even enjoy it for the first 5-6 years. I didn't even enjoy it. Like because that happened, and then like 6-8 weeks later, like I got a house in Arizona. I was able to put my mom and them everybody in apartments and stuff in Houston. Instead of open back up,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't help everybody.
Right. And and that's the thing. Knowing a person like you with the heart you have, you would try to do
If I
that.
could, I would.
Yeah.
I wasn't making
Most
millions.
definitely.
Y'all Globetrotters,
Yeah.
Globetrotters ain't making 100 million, right? So it's like, it was a gift and a curse. I think it was a gift to where I was able to get that contract and take care of them people I was with, but at the same time I couldn't take care of everybody, and it was crazy for me to think like that when the people who could have took care of me, who my family wasn't even thinking to, right?
Right.
So I was like, I ain't gonna be like that, man. Like forget that. Like somehow in my family, I gotta take care of my family, right? But it was cool, man. It was cool to travel the world, man. And I did the Amazing Race, and I got to meet the Pope and Kim Kardashian and all the cool stuff. But
Most
wherever I went,
Did you go to one of those? Did you go to one of those P Diddy parties?
no, I never went to Diddy party. I went to Diddy party. Again, I'm out the mouth. I don't know if they letting us in now. But yeah, but wherever everything I've done, I represent us though. Like I represented the Melf. When I came home, y'all know we played in the city. I get with 400 tickets every time. Even if I wasn't there, y'all know I call y'all need tickets. So like that was my little small way of doing something I can do. Because I
Mhm.
couldn't be there. But I think my thing is like, this has been crazy. It's been 20 years of like, oh wow, we've been through this, we've been through that. But we had saw so much shit before Katrina.
Yeah. Ooh.
I was 24 years old when that happened, right? So
Uh-huh.
man, think about it. We had to grew up in like Rome said, man, in that project, man. We had saw so much stuff, guys. We saw so much stuff that we can't even talk about. We would never be able to talk about that on our phones. We'll have to be in person to talk about some of the stuff we
Oh
see,
yeah.
stuff
Mm.
we know, some of the stuff that we know went through, and some people who walking, we know what they did, right?
Mm.
So to go through Katrina, yeah, it was devastating. It was whatever, but it was just added to the list.
Yeah.
It was just added to the list, and you know what? We're gonna figure this one out too.
No
You know,
doubt. Mm.
and so I think that, you know, like I always say, when my upbringing, you know, Katrina was sad. You know, the lives were lost, the memories that got stopped. I feel like my memory stopped in 2005.
No doubt.
You know, because it's just it's so crazy. As far as like New Orleans, right? Like, you know, and I was down there. You know, I came back. I moved back to Marrero, and I lived there for, you know, like I was home. I was there. But we didn't have our spot though. You know,
Right.
we couldn't just go walk in the cut. You know, just go sit on a ramp. If you know, we'd have been older, like, where we gonna meet at? Right? Meet me on the ramp. Meet me on the ramp. You know, meet me on the ramp. I'm gonna meet me on the ramp. Like, that is a safe place. You know, like I go home.
It was a safe place all but one day.
One
For
day,
one day.
I remember that day, Gup.
One day when that boy had that sawed off.
Mm-hmm.
He caught me literally slipping because of Fleet.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about it on a different episode.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
most
that
definitely.
was. Oh, me and Nolan was talking about that the other day. But boy,
Oh,
Nolan
I
was
was so
dying.
mad at Fleet. I should have just stepped over him. It's not try
No, you
to.
did.
I tried
You
to pick
did
him
right
up.
though.
I tried to
I'm
pick him
saying it,
up.
but I'm saying that's what we are though, right? Like,
Yeah.
you did right in that moment. Um,
Don't laugh at me, man. He
man,
only got my ID in like
boy, I was,
$7.
boy, I was terrified though. Boy, I look back. I thought
Mm-hmm.
we all got away. I look back. I see he had that damn sawed off in your back, and this fool
It's-
running towards us. Like, well, hold up now. How you
yeah,
get up? How you? You're not faster than Guppy.
yeah.
Mm.
He
Right.
fell down. He
No
fell
way.
down in front of me, man. And
No
I
way.
tried to pick my round up.
Uh-huh.
And homeboy, he was, you know how goofy he was. He was swirling on the ground,
Bro,
like kicking
I
his
was so
leg, so I
confused.
can't jump over him. So I'm trying
I
to
was
pick him up,
so
and dude just caught up with me.
I was so confused. I was so confused because we took off. Right, I know I'm one of the slowest ones. But I know he's slower than me, and I know darn well you one of the fastest ones. So when I shoot cross and I look back and I see him swimming in the air coming at me, I say, "Wake up at?" And boy said, "Oh, they got him." And
He
Guppy
got.
say, "No, they didn't get me."
Yeah, we can laugh about it now,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's funny now, but
Yeah.
He got. He didn't get. But I was
they
so
didn't get
mad
me.
at Flea, and Brian was so
No,
mad at me. Brian was like, "Go
Yeah.
inside." I'm
I
like,
remember
"Man,
P
I'm
said,
a
man,
sophomore in
go.
college.
Uh-huh.
You can't tell me what to do." All right, man. As we wrap this thing up, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors for this episode: No Tea and Sons Lawn and Irrigation and SunMed, your CBD store located in Ankeny, Iowa, and Winter Heights, Iowa. Big thank you to my brothers, Big Rome. What you smoking on? You don't know. You just smoking cigars.
I got a sweet bottom Betty over here.
Sweet Bottom Betty.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
from Drew Estates.
Drew States. Yes, sir.
Yeah. My other brother, my other younger big brother, Tater, better known as Nate Big Easy Lofton.
yeah,
Final words before we part.
man. First, love y'all, man, and thank you for giving me a little space to let some of this out. Um, but not final words, like, man, shoot, we out the mouth, so we gonna always be straight. We gonna always figure it out because we gonna, no matter what, we always had to fight. So even though, things gonna go wrong in life, like I tell the kids when I speak to kids, I always tell them, don't make an excuse, make a change. Don't make an excuse on why this happened. Make a
Mm-hmm.
change so if it happened again, you ain't got to worry about it. So, and I hopefully none of this ever happened. I wish nobody ever have to go through what we went through. Like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, And yeah, man, like, and take the lesson of it, right? Like I took the lesson of it, like I said, I touched on before, the family aspect of it and the friends who really reached out and the stuff that we went through. That's important to hold on to that. When somebody show you who they are, that's who they are.
Yeah, believe them.
It ain't no, ain't no nothing else. They telling you, like they telling you that they care about you, or they don't care about you. They, they forgot about you, and it's all good though. It's all good. And the thing I can get out of this is just because I was removed from my projects, I was removed from my environment. What I've learned is it's still in me though.
Right.
I'm still Tater out the mouth.
No
I'm
doubt.
44 years old. I'm gonna be that 84 years old. When I die, I'm gonna be that. I can be all this other stuff, biggies. I can do all this other cool stuff. Be on, see all these things that is cool and people love, and I'm proud of now. I wouldn't be it if it wasn't for the mouth, though.
Right.
And I think some people forget that part of life. Like I'm grateful to be able to. I appreciate our group text where we talk every day about something crazy, funny, whatever, right? I appreciate that I'm included in that, right? And that's because how I stayed 100. We ain't got no flunkies in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? We ain't got nobody who we don't mess with in there. And so that means something to me because none of that shit matter if you can't share with the people you love.
Right on.
So I know if I come in the city, if I'm in the city for a couple of days, I can hit y'all up like, boom, what's up? What y'all doing? Right? And we getting old now, but I appreciate where I come from. I never forget where I come from because it made me who I am. All that other stuff don't matter. It don't even happen because I'm out the mouth first. First and foremost, no matter what nobody say, I'm out the mouth. And I love that. And I take pride in that because I know growing up in New Orleans in the 90s when the mouth had the murder rate, I made it out.
Hell yeah.
No
And
doubt.
that means something. That means something. Like,
Real.
I ain't sling
Yeah.
I ain't sling no guns. I wasn't selling no dope. That's not who I am. But I had to throw them things. I had to fight. And I ain't afraid at all. I ain't scared of nothing. I ain't scared of nothing. My dad used to always say, I'm gonna leave it at this. People used to say this. It makes no sense. People used to say, you make sure you go out there and handle your business, because I ain't afraid of an N-word that shit between two boots.
What?
What are you talking about, bro?
Oh damn, Mr. Pee Wee. Yeah.
What you talking about, Daddy? But that's where that, man. Like look, the people who care about you, man, listen to them. The people who trust you, listen to them. Don't let nobody fool you, man. And that, like Rome said, how we grew up. My dad was on crack. My dad was on crack, and people, as I developed and got successful, you got people from where we grew up at who want to be like, "What's up, Tater?" and all this and that. Gee, they love me. You don't love me because if you love me, you wouldn't have sold my father crack because you wouldn't mess my house up. That you fucking up my house. How you love me and you doing that with him?
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry, man. I just
No, it's all good.
I gotta get baby girl up because the kid, like I said, sleep, man. But man, I appreciate the time, man, and we should do this again, man.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it with the whole crew next time.
Yeah, it's third.
It's not gonna be a Katrina one. We'll get Z and Wayne and Brian on, and
yeah, let's get in there and do it, man.
Most deaf.
Hey, on behalf of AP, Rick, Jake, Seth, it's the world's drunkest podcast on your boy Guppy Goins. We'll see y'all next time. Peace,
Let's
brother.
get drunk next time.